Good morning. I'm Tim Carter, and you're watching Ask the Builder. And this is kind of a new time for a live stream. It's 8:15 in the morning here, Eastern Time, on the East Coast, right here in Central New Hampshire. I'm up here in the man cave, and I'm glad you're here. If you have this can be kind of a unique live stream. Going to give you kind of a peek of where the future of Ask the Builder is going to be, what's going to happen, and I'll give you some context as to how we got here, what caused this live stream to happen. But first of all, realize if you have any questions about your home that really don't have anything to do with the future of Ask the Builder, feel free to put it in the chat. If you happen to have a YouTube account, you're going to be able to use the chat. If you are watching the live stream and you don't have a YouTube account, I think it's pretty much impossible for you to enter anything in the chat. And if you don't have a YouTube account, it's easy to get one. You don't have to upload a video to have one. Your biggest challenge is going to be coming up with a username, because I don't know how many users there are on YouTube, but there have to be millions, maybe hundreds of millions of people. So if you think your name is available, as a username, think again. Hi, Jimmy. How you doing? Great that you're here. Okay. Let me, once again, I'll just remind you, if you just happen to tune in, if you have any questions about your home, I don't care what they are, just type it in the chat. I do these live streams to help you save time and money. That's, I invest my time to help you. Simple as that. There's nothing hard about this, and happy to do it. Sometimes though, the question that you ask may be a little too complex. I may need to get more information. I may need to see photos. We may have to kick it up to a phone consult, but that doesn't always happen. Let's talk a little bit about the future of Ask the Builder. Okay. That's why you're here probably. Here's what happened. The kind of goes back in time. I guess might have been 8 years ago. I did a deck stain test, and I had decided to. I was getting so many emails from people that they wanted to know. They were so frustrated with deck sealers, and many years ago, like 25 years ago. I had discovered, quite by accident, a really good deck sealer at the time, and it was made by a small company in Richmond, Indiana, and it was a penetrating deck sealer. And there weren't many of the deck sealers at the time were that way. And the problem is that when you apply a penetrating deck sealer, the finish is kind of a matte finish. And it was acceptable. And but as time went on, and I have no data to prove this. You would have to have hacked into the manufacturer's websites, which is illegal, to find out their office communications and their plans. But if it's anything like the shingle industry, because if you're not aware of it, I wrote a book about why your asphalt shingles are falling apart so quickly. I had a deep throat source for that book, and a person that was very, very, very high up in the asphalt shingle industry, and he told me the truth of what was going on. That you can read all about it at roofingripoff.com. I'm not here to really try to sell that book. I'm just trying to tell you that I know that there were some very unethical practices going on in one home improvement industry. That automatically makes me suspect that there might be unethical practices happening in other verticals, such as deck sealers. Fast forward to 10 years ago. Hi, Elaine. Good morning. It's great that you're here. What do you know? I didn't know that you had a YouTube account. What do you know? That is amazing. Good for you. As I said, the deck sealer industry, I think, started to transition about 13 years ago. I just kind of saw it happen. And one thing that is a commonality is that most people, you may be one of them, are very disappointed with the with the performance of the deck sealers, meaning they only last for like a year or two. So some fail in just months. And I'm not, so I decided to do a test. I decided to do a test. And this was, like I said, 8, 9 years ago. I think I got 13 or 15. I don't know. I got a lot of stains. I went out and bought a bunch. Some companies donated them, but I put out a lot of money and a lot of time, and I cut pieces of both treated lumber and cedar, because those are the two most common woods. I applied the stain. I took photos. It was a lot of work. I'm telling you, it was a huge amount of work. I mounted them to a test board. Because I've been to the Paint Quality Institute. I've seen how they do actual test panels that out in the field, just like you see solar photovoltaic panels. Many paint companies do these very specific testing methods, but I decided to just lay it flat, just like your deck would be, because that's going to be the best test. And a year later, I published the results. All right, so a lot of work went into this. And at the time, the one that did the best, well, here's what happened. Understand that there was a big transition in deck sealers. And instead of them being flat and matte finish, many of them were shiny. They were glossy. And to do that, they transitioned from being a penetrating product, like a traditional interior wood stain. All right. In other words, a traditional interior wood stain. If you stain wood, you apply the stain and it soaks into the wood. All right. And then you may coat it with varnish in the old days, or coat it with clear urethane now, today. So I immediately saw that these all had a shiny finish after they dried. And so that told me right away, most of these were now film formers, meaning there was a film that formed on the surface. And that, just like paint. So paint is a film former. It's the ultimate film former. In other words, when you paint something, you apply a film to whatever you're covering, be it wood, plastic, metal. Like, in other words, the paint on your car is a film on the metal. All right. Publish those results. And at the time, believe it or not, the one that did the best was a film former made by Behr. And Behr is an independent paint company. It was at the time. I don't know if it's since been sold, but they primarily sold their products at Home Depot. It's not, at the time I did this test, Behr was not owned by Home Depot. It was not a house brand. And subsequently, that Behr product did fail. It peeled off. But after a year, it looked pretty good. And then what happened is my dock, I lost 4 of my dock panels. I have a dock that goes into my lake, and there was a horrible storm one night, and 4 of the panels came up. The waves got underneath the dock, lifted the panels up. The wind, who knows what happened to them? Who knows? They either shattered them or they drifted down the lake. Maybe Charlton Heston was using them, to film a scene of an upcoming movie. Who knows? That was a joke. Fred Hoffmeister's here. Are you kidding me? George H. No sound, no video. Guess what, George? That's problems at your end. All right. Hi, Elaine. Charles Morrison. Hello. Hi. All right, Charles. All right. So anyway, thanks for checking in, everyone. Really surprised to see Fred here. Fred, boy, an old time YouTube user to have your name. Wow, that's great. So I had to get a new dock. I had to build new panels. And this was 2 years ago. So I had to buy some brand new cedar wood. And my previous dock, my panels, whoever built them, I know who it was, Center Harbor Dock and Pier. They had coated the panels with a film former, and so they were starting to peel, and it looked horrible. And I thought, I'm done with it. I'm going to try to find a product uh, that is not a film former. There's got to be an old-fashioned penetrating, you know, deck stain. So off I went to try to find it, and I think I found it. So 2 years ago, I had to rebuild the dock panels. I couldn't get the lumber in the exact length I wanted. I had to buy it a little longer, so I ended up with these pieces of scrap about, I don't know, about this long. I bought the stain. I applied it. My daughter helped me. I decided to do a test. I thought, okay, let's see how well this really holds up. And I applied the stain just exactly as they said. I applied it to the dock panels. I applied it to this one test section. It's an exact same piece of wood. I left them outside to dry for a day. And the next day I took that sample piece and I brought it into my garage and I put it underneath my workbench. All right, so I wanted it out of the light. I didn't want any weather to get on it. I just wanted it hidden, all right? Because that was going to become the control. Because I thought, okay, we're going to see how well this stain really does. So 2 years went by. So here it is now. The stain's been down 22 months. And I decided, okay, this spring I'm going to do a video to show people how well it's done, because it's surprising to me. It's really surprising how well the stain's held up. Could last another year, maybe two, easily. Maybe 2 more years. That's 4 years. That would be unheard of. I had one of my subscribers. All right, so let me keep going. I announced this in my newsletter. It seems like a month ago I announced it. It was just last week. And I decided that I was going to, you need to know that 8 years ago when I did the other test, I charged people for the results. They paid just like you would go to Consumer Reports. And so people paid. Was not a lot of money. I don't know what it was, $7, $8, $9, I don't know. And so I said, okay, instead of me just guessing at what's a fair price, I think I'll ask my subscribers to my newsletter. All right, you may be one. And I do that last week, and I put in. You can actually see it. Let me show you where it was. You may already know, but I'm just going to find it for you and paste the link in. I'll show you what the survey was, so you can see the differences. It was. Here we go. I'm trying to pull up the link so I can paste it in for you. Here we go. All right. Here's where the survey. Hello, Louise. Andrew, I'll get with your questions in just a second. I gave people a choice. So here's what you also need to know. Before I created that survey, I went online. I've been talking recently on my other live streams about inflation and how out of control pricing is. And, I hadn't bought deck stain for a while, so I went and started to look. And some of these deck stains, $50 a gallon. $50 a gallon. How many gallons do you need for the average deck? I don't know, 4 or 5? So I have a newsletter subscriber who lives not too far away from me. And he hired me 3 years ago for a big consult. Had a big problem with his builder, and we kind of became friends. And I've since, shared ice cream with him and his wife up in Bar Harbor. We got a really neat relationship. He emailed me and says, $50. Are you kidding me? He says, I have to pay $102 for the stain I use, and it only lasts 2 years. And I need 10 gallons. So this guy's spending $1,200 on his deck every 2 years. So I thought, okay, is it worth $50 to find out a deck stain that may be a lot better? So you can see in that survey that I just listed it, 50, 40, I don't know, 30, 20, 10, I don't know. And then I put in there, this is the key, this is where I'm getting to. I put in there, it should be free with an unhappy face. Well, not unhappy, but like, I'm like, are you serious? Should be free. That was my intention when I put that in. So it was a real biased answer. So like as of a few days ago, 38% of the people that took the survey felt that the results should be free. So this past Monday, once again, this is all the context leading up to what the future of Ask the Builder is. So hang in here, hang in there. I asked I told my live stream people about this. I said, look at this. The results have been coming in for a day, and this 30 something. I said, should I ask these people why they think it should be free? And 80% of the people on the live stream said yes, because you can conduct a poll here. It's really pretty. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of a weak tool, but you can do a poll. And so the next day I do this poll. I just say, tell me why you think it should be free. So the answers came in, and some of them were just shocking. I just was like looking, I'm like, you can't be serious. And so I started to think about it. And then I also contacted a really good friend of mine. His name is David Lawrence, and he's a big Hollywood actor. I've known David for about 20 years, and we're really good friends. And whenever whenever I like shake my head and go and need like a hard reset. In other words, like if your phone starts to act funny, it's best to turn it off, completely turn it off, let it rest for 5 minutes, turn back on. So a cold reset, cold boot. Do the same thing with your computer, do the same thing with your modem, do the same thing with your router, and things work a lot better. So every now and then I do a cold reboot with David. And David basically said, Tim, stop. He said, this is this past week. He goes, I've told you for years that you've got the best home improvement content on the internet. No one can come close to you. And I mean, I'm saying that and trying to not sound pretentious. All right. This is David saying that. And he just says, you should never, ever feel ashamed for charging people a very fair price for knowledge that's going to save them time and money. So I couldn't argue with that. That's true. I mean, you do that all the time when you buy products. All right. Because if you don't want to buy the product, well, then just make it yourself. I mean, go ahead and just, I mean, seriously, like in other words, if you don't want to pay the money at the hardware store for a hammer, well, then just go out and find some steel and get a forge and get wood. Make a hammer yourself. All right. You don't have to buy one. All right. And so I was just here in my office thinking, and don't worry, Andrew, I'm going to get to your question in just a second. I want to get to this break off point, and then I'll get to your question. I was looking on my wall. It's right there. I know you can't see it, but I'm looking right over at it. And if you've ever been to a restaurant, or I don't go to bars a lot at all. I'm not a drinker, but I'll go if somebody invites me. And typically at a bar, very near the cash register, and of course this is going to change, with everybody using credit cards. But in the old days, you'd see framed on the wall, or you'd see thumbtacked to a wall, a $1 bill or a $5 bill, whatever it is. That was the first dollar. That was the money from the first customer, and they just it's like a trophy. They put it up on the wall. Well, I have my first dollar. I have my first dollar. It's a check that was written by the wife of my best friend back in Cincinnati. And the day my first Ask the Builder column appeared, at the bottom of the column, there was a little tagline that said, send in for Builder Bulletin, whatever, to get all this other extra information. So it was premium content. This is back in 1993. All right. And so my friend's wife immediately sends in the check. She, of course I mailed it to her, but I never cashed the check. It was literally the first dollar I got for Ask the Builder. I take David's information, what he told me in that phone call and email, and looking at that, and I thought, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know exactly what I'm going to do, where the future is going to be. And I'll tell you that in just a minute as soon as I answer Andrew's question. All right. And if you have a question, feel free to go ahead and ask it. Happy to answer it. I'll answer questions, as I continue down the pathway of the future of Ask the Builder. Well, Lorraine's here. What do you know? And Jason. Oh my gosh, the lurker. Jason, the man of few words. All right, here we go. Recently, I bought a house and noticed the sewage plant is in a concealed space with no room to rod or scope. Can I just put a 90 bend on that? Yeah, sure. But it should be a sweep 90. There's two different types of 90s. There's a hard 90 and a sweep 90. The sweep 90 has a bigger radius. So the answer is yeah, go ahead. Whatever it takes for you to be able to get access. The lurkers here. Let's keep going. And then I will also paste in a link if I can, because you may have missed it up above. So once again, talk with David. He's the North Star. He's the David's advice. I mean, he's super good at selling or marketing premium content. Made a big business out of it. And then I looked at my first dollar, and then 2 days ago at 5 a.m. in the morning, still dark outside here in New Hampshire, I have another vision. I've had several in the past 28 years. And I tell the story about them in the newsletter tomorrow. Like if you're not getting my newsletter, you better sign up today if you want to see these stories. It was the best. I should say this. I had the most fun writing the newsletter. I spent about 4 hours on it yesterday, a long time. And I went over it and over it and over it, re-edited it. Anyway, so if you must see my newsletter tomorrow. Is all I can tell you. You've got to see the newsletter. So it's easy to do. Just go to askthebuilder.com, right on the homepage. Just put your name, your email address, double check to make sure your email address, hit the submit, boom, magic happens. But what's going to happen is you'll get an email right away. And you know how to do this. You get it from everybody else. You have to open that email and you have to hit that confirmation link. And if you don't do that, then you're not going to get the newsletter. And that's a double opt-in system. And that makes sure that you're the person who signed up, and it preserves the purity of my list. Because you don't want to have a bunch of spam emails going out. All right. So let me check in, see before I keep going. Once again, if you have questions about your home that have nothing to do with the future of Ask the Builder, go ahead and ask them in the chat. That's why I'm doing this live stream this morning. All right. So we thought we would test it out. We wanted to, typically I do them at 4 p.m. I thought and I had a friend of mine on the stream 2 or 3 days ago say, hey, mix it up. Try 1 in the morning, see what happens, especially a Saturday morning when you might be off work. So we'll see how it works out. Let's see. 100 says, hi, Tim, Justin from Connecticut. I have a concrete sidewalk with a negative slope towards the house foundation. What fix can I do to slope? Well, for the best advice would be for me to see a photograph. What you can do is you can do an overlay. You can do a concrete overlay on the sidewalk. You might be able to, once again, I don't know, I'm not there. You might be able to add concrete, like a wedge of concrete. So it would be thicker on the house side and go down to nothing on the driveway side, I guess, or the neighbor's side. And then it produces pitch away from the house. But the problem is you have to make sure that you can add enough soil in between the sidewalk and the house. I mean, once again, I don't know if the sidewalk touches the house. I don't have enough information from you. And, that you're not causing that the concrete or that the soil doesn't get too high up against the house on the house side. So that's one way to do it. That you might be able to do that without having to tear out the sidewalk and start over. Jason. Well, here's what's going to happen, Jason. Oh, hello, Bob. How you doing? Elaine, mornings are really good for me. For me too, Elaine. Mornings are the best. I run out of gas in the afternoon. I mean, like today, I was out of bed at 4:30. I mean, I had had 8 hours sleep, so why should I stay in bed any longer? Right. So here's what's going to happen, Jason, just so you know. It's now April 2nd, and I can tell you by May 1st, I'm not going to be doing a live stream every afternoon. Not going to happen, because once the good weather hits here in New Hampshire, uh, I moved here from Cincinnati to take advantage of the good weather. So once the good weather hits, I'm outside. I'm not, I'm outside and doing. I could be kayaking. I could be doing outdoor radio. Whatever. So I'm going to cut back on the live streams. And you're right. We may switch them to the morning, and I just may do 2 a week. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen, but I know there's not going to be one every week, every afternoon. We're not going to do that. That's not sustainable through the summer. All right, let's get back on track about the future of Ask the Builder. So if you want to see where Ask the Builder is going, you can go here. This is a brand new column that I wrote. And the format that I used to use in my columns years ago, because you're limited in space, you could only write so many words. The editors would not let you write anymore. Is I would share with you what you need to do. And then as a separate document that you could pay, this is going back, I understand this is going back 25, 28 years. You would pay me $2 or $3 for a document, typically a 4-page document that would then tell you how to do it, like all the steps involved. Because in a typical column, there's just not enough room. You cannot go into all the detailed information you need to have. And so that's where I'm going, because the model of putting up content on the internet for free is broken. That is not working. This is why many, many publishers over the past 10 years have switched to, some of them, to a full-blown subscription model, like Consumer Reports. In other words, if you go to consumerreports.com right now, you're not seeing anything. You don't get to see one thing. Nope. You just hit with the homepage. So you want to see a report? You got 3 options. Here's the 3 prices. Okay. Fine Home Building, probably my biggest competitor. Same exact thing. They have some free information online, some, but you want to get all their past archives, you got to pay. You want their premium content, you got to pay. Is it a lot of money? No. Is it going to save you time and money? Yes. All right. So that's where I'm going. In other words, and you can see an example in that column right there. In other words, I share with you, people want to colorize their concrete. They don't like the color of it, and they want to change color. So I tell them what to do. But if you want to know how to do it, well, there's a really cool document that I created that shows you how to do it. So that's where it's going. That's where we're going. And then what I'm also potentially thinking about doing is completely changing the website, cutting back significantly on the amount of ads, because it's got a lot of complaint about ads, but it was really kind of funny. People were complaining. Oh, here's what they said. You need to give us the information for free, and you just need to make your money from advertisements. And then in the next breath, they would say, you've got too many ads on your website. Really? The overwhelming sentiment from all of the replies I got was that I need to work for free. Basically, seriously. I mean, that's what they were saying. I need to work for free. You need to work for free. Like, I want the content. You give it to me for free. Okay. That's a bad deal, because I know you don't work for free. So, or you didn't work for free in your job. Why you would expect me to do that is beyond mental comprehension. If you have an idea and you can justify it, please, for the love of God, put it in the chat. Maybe I'm missing something. All right. 100 says, use dirt fill as an additional sub base, then report. No, wait. You wouldn't put dirt underneath the concrete that you're going to pour. No. You need to go. So here's what this is a great example of what I'm talking about for premium content. You've got two choices. You can go to my website right now and you can sift through all of my past content. And there's a lot of it about concrete overlays. And you can read all of the stuff on my website about foundation height. I know that doesn't make sense. You can read all of my content on the website for free right now. It's all for free. You can do all of that, read everything about grading and drainage. Probably about 6 hours worth of reading you'd have to do, would be my guess. I'm thinking how many columns I've written about all this stuff, because you really need to kind of get it. Or you can do this. Here's something you can do that only takes 15 minutes. And it's the best money you're going to spend on the project. So in other words, you can try to go find all the information I just described on your own. All right, you can do that. Or I can call you on the phone and tell you exactly what to do. It's up to you. I'm happy to call you on the phone. I'm so happy to call you on the phone. Just go there and set up the phone call. Simple as that. Or go to the website and read everything about concrete overlays, read everything about, really important about foundation height. Make sure you find those columns. Make sure you read all of the columns about exterior drainage. Make sure you understand what the code requirement is for the minimum code requirement for fall away from a house. The laundry list is about this long of everything you need to know. All right, so that's what you need to do. Now, if you want to know how to do it, just go to that link. Simple. Hello, William. All right, so any other questions about, really kind of surprised. I thought it's really kind of interesting. I thought we would have more people here tuning in. I thought I had a pretty seductive tease yesterday, but it didn't. It must not have worked. Or people are just busy. It doesn't matter. If you have any other questions about your home, please type it in. Happy to help you. It's very limited in what I can do here in explaining things. So just ask your question, ask away. That's why I'm doing the live stream primarily, is to help you save time and money at your home. That's the big reason I'm here. If you haven't checked in, it's probably a good idea. It's always nice to know who's here watching. And if you want to list a superpower that you might have, go ahead and do it. I got a very interesting email yesterday after the stream from one of the regulars that watches the stream. Well, he's as regular as he can be, and he was trying to explain why he can't do it. He's still a working guy. He's got a very important job. I'm not going to tell you what it is. That's nice to know information. And but he just loves the stream, so he watches them frequently after the fact. So realize that this stream, once it's over, gets curated on my Ask the Builder channel on YouTube. So you can watch it time and time again if you want. You don't have to watch it live. But he went into great detail about what his superpowers are. Pretty amazing, actually. And what how he likes to do home improvement projects, what his strengths are, and how he helps his neighbors. Very interesting. It was really interesting to get that email. All right, let's see. So Lorene is, you're just like Kathy. You and Kathy would get along really well. Our schedules are off by 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So, yeah, I know it was early. I know it's early in Wisconsin. I get it. I know that. I get it. I know. So, Bob. So Bob, that's a great question. What's a good way to stop? So I'm not a, so I don't know how to pronounce the word. I don't know if I'm going to, I may not even get close. Ornithologist, isn't an ornithologist a bird expert? But here's what I know. All right. So I had trouble with a small woodpecker becking on my house. The woodpeckers are just kind of looking for food, primarily, I believe. Sometimes I think some of the woodpeckers will peck on a gutter as a mating call, I think. If you can do some research and find out from you really need to go to a bird expert website, all right, to find out why you need to. Here's what you have to do. This is if you watched my other previous live streams, you know that I'm really big into trying to get people to. A lot of people seem to have forgotten how to use critical thinking skills, or they were never taught how to use them. So I always like to get people to think critically. All right. So the first question in your mind should be not how do I stop the woodpecker from doing it? That's a good question. But in my thought would be the first question should be, why is the woodpecker pecking on my siding? That would be my first question. It's like, why isn't he pecking on a tree? Why isn't he pecking next door? What's the attraction of my siding? So that's where I would start the journey to find out how to stop it. All right, because I don't know. I'll give you an example. Maybe you coated your siding. I know this sounds crazy. This is total speculation. Maybe you coated it with some sealer that's made with a natural oil that tastes really good to the woodpecker. They're like, oh, it's like putting hot sauce on a cheese coney. Like, oh, this is fantastic. All right, so maybe it's that. Maybe there's a spot. Maybe there's a spot that's a little soft, and there's carpenter ants in it. Maybe the woodpecker's actually trying to make a nest. So the list is a mile long of why it might be doing it. So once you understand why woodpeckers, what they're doing, like what their behavior is, and you need to do that from an expert, and I'd go to at least 3 different websites. And once again, I talk about this in tomorrow's newsletter. When you land on a website you've never been to before, and you're looking for information, okay, once again, let's engage the critical thinking skills. I'll ask you a rhetorical question. Do you want to follow the advice of someone who is not qualified? Well, of course, the answer is simple. No. Like I don't want to follow the advice of some flippant idiot. How do you determine whether or not the person who's writing the content that you're looking at is an idiot? How do you do that? Do you know how to do that? Is there, what happens is if you go to some of the news sites, sometimes at the bottom of the news site, at the bottom of the column is a little block that has the photograph of the author and a very short 2-sentence biography, so that you might find out, like, I'm just going to make up the name, like Bob Smith has been a international reporter for 30 years and has reported from 80 different countries. I would go, seems like that guy might be credible. Or it could say, Bob Smith just graduated from journalism school a month ago. Oh, okay. I might pass on this guy. Or there might not be anything there. So if not, you would go up to the About Us page. All right, so always go to the About Us page, click it, and then find out what the hell is this? Who's behind this website? Who's creating all this content? So when you go to the bird websites, go find out who's behind the content and if that person's an expert. Nothing about this is hard, right, Lorene? Nothing about it is hard. So anyway, that's the answer to your question, Bob. You need to go find out why woodpeckers peck on siding. That's all. And then where I was getting to was that if you find out that they're trying to nest or they're trying to do what, I would put up a totem pole in my yard. I know this sounds crazy. I mean, I would put up a special thing that has like a sign on it that says woodpeckers welcome here. And in other words, I would try to find out from these websites what is the most desirable wood that woodpeckers love. I mean, just love it. All right. And so I would put that on a post in my yard, and have a little sign, woodpeckers welcome. I'm serious. That sounds crazy. That's what I would do. William, I have a newer washing machine that squirts when it gets to the wash icon. Another great teaching moment. William, I know you're going to feel that this answer is snarky. All right. I know. And I'm trying to do my best to make it not snarky. All right. When you went to the manufacturer's website and when you read through the FAQ and the troubleshooting page, what did it say? And if there was nothing there to answer your specific question, when you called their 800 number, what did they tell you on the phone? That's where you should always, whenever you have a question about a product, whenever you have a malfunction with a product, it's not doing something right. You need to go to the manufacturer. Simple as that, William. Elaine says woodpeckers nest in April and May. Yes, most birds do. Could be. Thank you, Lorraine. Once they start, they can be hard to stop. Research, yes, I know. What I did on my house, and it seemed to work really well, is what had happened is at the corner of my roof, some of the wood started to get a little soft, and I was pretty much convinced that the woodpecker was getting some insects. So I mixed up some Goya hot sauce, got the hottest sauce they had, and put it in a little spray bottle and sprayed the wood. Stopped right away. Siri, she's a trollop. Don't trust Siri. She's a flippin' tramp. All right. Don't even get me started on that. I promised myself today I was not going to go off the rails. All right. Because we might have some new people here who not used to that. It quits. Oh, it quits. Okay. So anyway, William, my advice still stands. You need to go to Maytag or just look on the front panel, who made your washing machine. Go to their website, look at the FAQ page, look at the troubleshooting page, open up your manual. You still have the manual, right? I mean, when you got the washing machine, you took that manual and you put it in a Ziploc storage bag and you taped it to the side of the washing machine, right? Surely that you did that, right? Tell me you did that. Tell me you've got the manual and it's in a Ziploc bag. All right. I'm not trying to be snarky. Okay. I'm just being me. I'm just trying to engage critical thinking skills. That's one I should maybe I should start a new website, criticalthinkingskills.com. I don't know. Maybe. Starting to go off the rails. I can hear, I'm finally maybe getting Lorene to start laughing early in the morning. All right. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We're getting some good questions. I'm getting some great questions here. Ronald, I have a 1920 2.5 story house with a stone foundation. Yes. The mortar in one corner of the foundation is deteriorating into sand. I assume due to moisture. How do I repair? Ronald, all of those questions are on my website. All the answers, all of those answers are on my website. Go to askthebuilder.com and type into the search bar, repair mortar. Magic's going to happen. Magic. Wait till you see what happens. Go do it right now, if you don't mind. Open up another tab. Do that, and then come back and report and tell everyone what you found. Please do me a favor. Thank you. Harvey, experience with older homes. Regarding painting a 102-year-old house. Most paint had let. Yes. Harvey, once again, great question, great point. Go to my website right now. Go to askthebuilder.com and type, and I'll talk a little bit about it, but I want you to open up another tab while I'm talking and go to askthebuilder.com and type into the browser, type into the search engine, lead paint. That's all you got to do. Just type in lead paint. Hit the search. look at the results, and then come back and report to everyone what you found. Like you could say, I found a bunch of garbage, or you could say, wow, I found some really great columns about lead paint and what to do. Here's the deal. So lead paint, really, really toxic. You never want to sand it. It creates lead dust. It takes a very small amount of lead dust to cause you serious harm. It's so toxic it'll kill you. For men, it causes impotence. That's not a good thing. Don't want to be impotent. All right. Causes severe nerve damage. It's bad. Lead is really bad. You do not want to scrape it, or if you do scrape it, I mean, if you're going to scrape lead paint on an old home, if it was me, I would be putting down first. I would tape to the foundation some inexpensive, plastic, 2 mil, maybe even 4 mil. Only has to be 5-6 feet wide. So I want to collect all the scrapings. You don't want that to get into the soil. Because some people garden. I know it sounds crazy. They might grow tomatoes next to their house. Well, the last thing you want is a bunch of flipping lead paint chips in the soil where the lead could be potentially picked up and brought into the tomatoes or the other vegetables. All right. So if you're going to scrape, you've got to collect that stuff and get rid of it. Other than that, that's really all you got to do. It's just that do not sand it, because that dust could drift inside. It could drift all over the place. It could pollute your ground. It could pollute the next door neighbor's house. Do not sand lead paint. 8-bit vinyl. How you doing, Dwayne? You need to send some of that coffee up to Lorene. And Lorene says she can't read the manuals. I don't understand why. Oh, they put all the type in the smallest print. I got it. I understand. William says, no, I didn't. You should. Okay, whatever. I don't know what that means. Chris. Hello, Chris. Good morning. I have some hardboard siding on my house that is deteriorating at the bottom edge. What is an inexpensive and easy way to fix? It's really hard for me to say, because often in situations like this, you're not giving me enough information. All right. So I don't know how bad it is. I don't know the extent. I don't know if it's a 1/2 inch missing. There's a lot of things I don't know. You can go to this. Let me get a page for it at my website. I'll have it in just a second here. I have a great video that you should watch. Come on, come back here, right here. So this is a pretty cool page at my website. I was out in California 4 years ago, and I recorded this video. And I've got links on the page of the products you should buy. And I'm just checking to make sure it's there. I would appreciate it if you would use those links to buy the product. As that's like, just like you'd tip a waiter or waitress at a restaurant, just click those links and buy the product. So here's, Chris, this is what you need to do. But you have to modify it a little bit, because you haven't given me enough information. But I know this product's going to work. So good luck on that. If you have any other questions about your home, now's the time to type them in. I actually have a question for you, because I want to learn something. If I've seen your name here, and you're, I see, do you all have YouTube accounts? Because I'm really kind of surprised. Like, I'm stunned. There must be something I must not know. Like Elaine, like I don't know why. I'm just stunned that you were able to get that YouTube account name. I just am stunned by that. So the bottom line is that if you have typed in something in the chat and I've read it or acknowledged it, do you have a YouTube account? I know, or does that make sense? you could say, yes, I have a YouTube account, or no, I don't have one. Because maybe, the trouble is I'd have to open up an incognito browser and go to somebody else's live stream and see if I can do this. Just a lot of work. Don't want to do that. If you have a question about your home, go ahead and type it in the chat. Happy to help you. So far, the Saturday morning live stream's going pretty good. I've been on about 50 minutes, getting a lot of great questions. Okay. Yes, thank you, Charles. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Thanks, Fred. Fred, I mean, remarkable that you got your name. I mean, that's just crazy. That's crazy. All right. So, yeah, I figured you have to have an account to be able to chat. All right. Good. Good for you. Thank you. Thank you for that. I think there's a little latency to this in the chat today. You're welcome, Chris. Those products are going to work great. Watch the video. I just want to warn you that hardboard siding has got a history of failure, and you're going to constantly be fighting it. That's all. You have to do everything possible to keep it really well maintained, really well painted, or it's just going to continue to fall apart. William says, Harvey, here, let me get Harvey straight. I haven't found the search for your contact. Oh, Harvey, come on. When you do the search, I do have Google ads do show up at the top, but let's see. Harvey was searching for lead paint. So I'll go do it. Let's see here. Going right here. I'm typing in the search bar, lead paint. Type in what I told you to do. I click the search button, and yes, I see some ads. And then if I scroll down below the ads, I see columns about lead paint. All right. So, I'll just go to one, and then I'll type in that link for you. All right. So but Harvey, you have to kind of scroll down below those ads, my friend. And magic happens. All right. So nothing about this is hard, as Lorene would say. Trying to get her to laugh this morning. All right. William says, you should do a stream on critical thinking one day, especially with everything going on these days. I am just an old country boy that I basically raised out after my mom and dad divorced. Okay, good. Awesome. Good for you. It's kind of an interesting concept. It's funny. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to research how to teach other people to think critically. I gave apologize, I can't remember his name. I'm going up here to find it. Bob. I gave Bob an example how to start it with his woodpecker question. In other words, I learned from another ham radio operator about 6 years ago. He had a really interesting saying that I had never heard before. And he said, the power is in the question. And it's such a very interesting comment, a statement when you think about it. And I'll give you an example because I get it all the time. And you can actually go onto my YouTube account under some of my videos, and I answer people this way. I've typed that. I've typed the powers in the question. Someone will ask me, here's an example. Can I use a toothbrush to clean my roof shingles? Can I use a toothbrush to clean my entire roof? So how would you answer that question? Well, my answer would be yes. I would just go, yes, you can do that. Right? I mean, you can use a toothbrush to clean a roof. What should they have asked? How should the question have been phrased? There's actually 2 or 3 different questions. Number one is, it could have been phrased, Is a toothbrush the best tool to use to clean an entire roof? That's a better question, right? Or what is the best way to clean a roof? See, because that's really what the person wants to know. But they just thought maybe I can use a toothbrush. So they're not, so that those are just some examples of how to start thinking critically. In other words, think about the problem and then really think about what is it that you really want to know. Exactly, Elaine. That was my point. And 8-bit vinyl. Yeah, good luck. No, I mean, and I have. This is why Elaine has. This might be Elaine's first live stream, but Elaine, just so you know, in past live streams, I have told people like 8-bit vinyl and Bob, and we've got a lot of regulars here. So many regulars, and I would say, I've got this really bad habit, and I'm trying to break it. It happened this morning. I fell off the rails early this morning. I fell off the rails here. I was up here in the office like at 5:10 in the morning. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I go check to see the comments that came in on the videos. I need to stop doing that. I don't need to answer comments until 1 p.m. because in the morning, just like Lorene, she's saying she was kind of implying that she was a little grumpy, a little early, a little grumpy. The drag hasn't worn off yet. That's the actual term. That's what we call it in the media industry. In other words, when you wake up, you've got drag. That's what it's called. And it's just like airplanes. Airplanes have drag. And if you have too much drag, bad things happen with airplanes. Bad things. All right. So so it takes a while, like on the average human being, it takes about an hour to an hour and a half to get rid of the drag. All right. Unless you're using artificial stimulation. Probably not a good idea to do that. Do not be using cocaine in the morning. I mean, I never have. I'm just saying, don't go there. The drag will naturally go away. So I have a tendency to be a little snarky and just like you idiot, flipping idiot. And then it's scary to think that they could be breeding. I mean, all kinds of bad things. All right. I know. I'm getting that fixed, Lorene. There's if you open up a new tab, that's the reason you're getting that error is because on the web page I have old Google search code, and but trust me, my IT guys on it. We're actually going to abandon the Google search. We're going to get rid of it completely. And I'm going to use WordPress search engine, which is much better, much faster. There won't be any ads, so Harvey won't be upset anymore in the future. But I don't know that it's happening this weekend, maybe next weekend. I don't know. My IT guy does it when he can. So yes, I know every now and then I get that error, but I haven't gotten that error myself in about a week. Typically, it can go away if you just close out of that tab, open up a new tab, go to Ask the Builder, and sometimes I've noticed it goes away when you get to the homepage. If you go up and hit the Q&A, if you hit the Q&A button, and then you'll see a little search bar on the right, try that search bar. Just it's a very odd. It's only because the code is so old, 13 years old. I know you're getting the errors. All right. Hello, Tom. Jimmy thinks it's a hit for Saturday. We are getting pretty many viewers. Like to see more. I would love to. We should be at 100. We should be at 200 viewers, not 25 right now. We should be at 500 or 1,000, in my opinion. I'm greedy. Lorene has some coffee. I know, but you have a very truncated. So here, Lorene says, I have some coffee, but that's all she says. There's no smiley face. There's no nothing. So she's still got some drag going on. That's okay. That's okay. I get it. I mean, like if you and I were together this morning, Lorene, I would not be joking around. I would wait a while. I mean, I've got such an advantage. I swear to God, I've been up for 5 hours. All right. I've been up for like 5 hours. So Thomas says, this might be a great example of critical thinking skills. All right. Or the powers in the question. Watch this. Thomas says, can you use liquid DPM into a mortar screed floor. I don't know what liquid DPM is. I don't know the name of that product. I'm sorry. I would be inclined to say you can do whatever you want. All right, you can do whatever you want. But here's the critical thinking part of the lesson. Here, this is a great teaching moment. So Thomas, and if you're watching this and you're not Thomas, I need to hammer this into your head. I've said this 1,000 times on the website. When you have a question about a product, I don't care what it is. It could be about this liquid DPM. It could be, I don't know, emerald paint from Sherwin-Williams. It could be stain solver. Never, ever, ever trust a person like even me. Do not trust me, or do not trust any other person on the internet with the answer, or do not trust the person that's wearing the orange apron in that big store. Never, ever trust those people. Never. Never trust a person like me, even though I'm supposedly an expert. Why? Who's the person? So critically thinking. So Thomas, who's the person that's most knowledgeable about how to use liquid DPM? The person that makes it. So whenever you have a question about a product, always go to the manufacturer. And even before you go there, I don't know about you, but I would just read the instructions on the label. I would go to their website and read their technical specs. That's what I would do. Never trust anybody who has nothing to do with the product warranty. Does that make sense? Because here's what I could say. I could say, oh, Thomas, hell yeah, man. Put that liquid DPM on the flipping mortar screed floor, man. Go for it. Put it. And in fact, I've gotten the best results when I put 5 gallons per 100 square feet. And you go, oh, wow, really? And I could have just, for all you know, I could have fallen off my motorcycle yesterday and hit my head. I'm not trying to yell at you. I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm just trying to say, stop asking questions like that of me. Just go to the flipping manufacturer. All right. Elaine's laughing. Lorraine, it would be great to see the new site. I mean, I can actually hear you say that. Here's Lorraine. It'll be great to see the new site. But I am overall cheerful. I didn't think today's live stream would be this much fun. I'll be honest with you. I did not. I didn't know what to expect. I'll be honest. I appreciate you being here. If you're a regular, and we got quite a few regulars here, really amazing. All right. So if you're here and if you're new to the stream and you have a question about your home, ask it in the chat. Go ahead and ask. I want to plug the newsletter. If you are not signed up for my Ask the Builder newsletter, I swear to God, you have got to go sign up for it. Just go to the homepage of askthebuilder.com, right there on the center. Just put in your name, your email address, hit the button, then go check your email. Open up the email I send you, click the confirmation link. When you see tomorrow, I'm telling you what, I've been writing my newsletter for 25 years. And I'm telling you, I have never written a newsletter like I did yesterday. And you have got to read it. All right. So Lorraine's laughing. 8-bit vinyl. Speaking of paints, from your experience, oh yeah, sure. Well, now once again, so the powers in the question, are we talking interior, exterior? I'm going to pretty much assume you mean exterior. Is that a safe assumption? Lorraine's laughing. Lorraine, give us a quick update on the fireplace. Is it they got it done? Uh, and just so you know, Adrian Violent, she spells her name this way. Okay, yes, exterior. Oh, oh yeah, great. Just a second, Ed. The fireplace is done. It is amazing. I knew it would be amazing. I knew it would be amazing. Yeah, yeah, no worry about the video. Uh, oh, that's great. I am so happy that that worked out for you. I assume, I assume you've already had a few fires. Have you had a few fires in it? Is it wonderful? Aside from the look. All right. All right. So, best paint. The best okay. I've talked about this in past live streams, and I'll make this as quickly. I'll go as quickly as I can. I don't have anything to drink here this morning. That was a mistake. I forgot to bring something to drink. I'm just going to ask you a rhetorical question. Have you ever thought about what is paint? What is it? Oh, first fire tonight. Oh, that's what I want to see the picture of. I want to see the picture of a fire in the fireplace. What is paint? That's like asking, what is a woman? All right. Okay, I'm not going off the rails. I swear to God, I'm not. Quick story. When my first business, I actually, if you got a minute, I'll find something that I think you'll really enjoy. Just give me a second. It's right down here in the bottom. I'm trying to find it. Just hang in there with me. It's right here somewhere. Oh, come on. Well, I thought I could find it quickly. It's right here, but it's in a stack of. My mom saved everything. God bless my mother. She was a pack rat. She saved everything, all of my school papers, all of my report cards, all of my detention slips. And when I went into business, when would this have been? Oh, I don't know. It's sometime in college. It might have been my sophomore summer. I don't know. I started painting. I started painting houses in the summertime with a friend of mine who was 1 year older than me. His name was John Pendry. And John was a great guy. And what I loved about John was he was cut from the same cloth I was. No half-ass work, do things the right way. He was awesome. John was a great, great guy. And we started this little painting company. And so when John got a degree in chemistry, he eventually got his PhD. And then he went to work. His entire career, he was with Sherwin-Williams up in Cleveland. Wonderful wife named Myrna. Myrna was a registered pharmacist. And one day, this is when John was still in college, and I guess they must have covered it one day in one of his physical chemistry classes, I would guess. But John handed me a piece of paper with a formula on it, a chemical formula. And he was just playing with me. All right. Because he knew I wasn't a chemist. He said, do you know what this is? It's a weird chemical formula. Like, I just look at him and say, well, I can't really tell you what I said. It was a 4-letter word. All right. Just joshing with him. Like, just like when a woman says whatever, like whatever, basically kind of what I said back to him. That should get Lorraine and Elaine really laughing. All right. So Kathy will say that to me, whatever. All right. I know what it means. Doesn't mean whatever. And I go, John, I don't know what that is. He goes, simple. He goes, that's the formula for pretty much standard yellow carpenter's glue. Oh, that's cool. Because he knew I liked carpentry, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. He hands me another piece of paper. He said, what do you think this is? And I look at it and I go, well, this is almost identical formula to the glue you just handed me. He goes, correct. He goes, that's a very standard paint. All right. So he basically, the glues, those carpenter glues, are back in the old days. I'm going way back. I can't tell you what they are now, but back in the old day, they were vinyl acetate. All right. It was a vinyl acetate adhesive. So all paint is, bottom line, you have to understand this. You remember critical thinking. Critical thinking. This is what we're doing here. What's his name is right. Maybe I should do a course on this. Starting to think now about a critical thinking class about stuff about your home. All right, I have to. That's a really rough idea. When you understand that all paint is glue, I'm just talking basic paint. It's just glue with color in it. I mean, a light bulb should go off in your head. Like, wow, okay, glue. I mean, and you go, it makes sense. Like, because when I paint something, like if I paint this woodwork here in the cave, or I paint the door, or I paint the wall, it sticks on it. It sticks. It doesn't come off. Like, this paint's been here for years. What do you know? All right. I mean, you go, I'll be damned. All right. So that's a crutch word, by the way. If you understand that paint is glue and you want to know what the best paint is, your next question would be, if we were thinking critically, right? 8-bit, what would the next question be? What is the stickiest glue? All right, I'll give you a clue. Have you ever, and I'll take it one step further. Not only is what is the stickiest, because it doesn't really come off. I mean, you've, in other words, what coating have I seen applied that is sticky? And I mean, it just doesn't seem to come off. I mean, it must have some type of magic qualities. I'll give you a clue. Have you ever gone to a basketball game? Have you ever watched a basketball game on TV? What are the basketball players play on? Do you know? Have you ever thought about it? It's hardwood. They play on a wood floor. Is the wood floor painted? Does it have lines on it? Does it have symbols on it? Does it have bull crap writing on it? You know? Yes. All right. And all right. So what's on the floor? Urethane. Urethane. You probably have urethane in your home. You might have urethane on your woodwork. You might have it on your floors. Bottom line, best exterior paint is the one that has a urethane resin. And I have, as you might suspect, I have that column on my website, and I will give it to you to show you which paint I would buy. I'm getting the link for you right now. And you're also going to see a picture of the smallest house in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. What do you think about that? The smallest house in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. Ready? There you go. All right. Paint is glue. I'm getting caught up. Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Then the walls and incorporate walls. So Lisa, I must, oh, here we go. Good morning. Okay, Lisa, I'm getting your question right now. Let me go. Let me get to Elaine. Alexa, hi, and I don't trust the paint that's blood. Yeah, I agree with that, Elaine. Just so you know, I'll just touch on that real quickly. Lisa, I'll get to you in just a second. So Elaine, this whole movement over the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years about paints that don't need a primer, once again, those are developed for the lazy people out there. All right. The the lazies, all right, because paint manufacturers have done all types of, they've spent lots of money on surveying people, and people are just not all people. Many people are lazy. They still want to sell their product. They know that people don't want to put 2 coats of paint on. They don't want to double their paint budget. So they go, okay, we'll just sell them a flipping paint that doesn't need primer. All right. So all they may do is just they'll make a paint that's very similar to some of the drywall primer sealers that handle 2 things, that deal with porosity and deal with making sure that they have the right sheen. All right. That's kind of a complex topic. I've got another web column on the website about that, but right. I would prefer to put a primer on, a primer seal. You actually should put a primer sealer on. It's a special paint. All right, let's go to Lisa's question. Good morning. I'm rebuilding RV. Some say I should do the internal framing first, and some say do the walls. Then I'm trying to find the rest of your question. Then the walls and incorporate wall. Lisa, if it was me, I would rebuild an RV. I've never done one, all right? But I would rebuild it exactly the same way that I would build a home. All right, let's think about that. So how would you build a home? If you would start by putting the framing up, the walls and the roof. And then typically a good builder, what's the next thing he'll do? He'll try to seriously get the roof on. I mean, they'll frame the roof, but they want to get the roofing on as soon as possible to minimize water getting inside. And a really good builder, once he has the roof on, all of a sudden he can start to get 4 or 5 different trades working on the house pretty much at the same time. All right. He can start to get the plumbing in, because in most cases it doesn't hurt. I mean, obviously, think about this. You can put the pipes, both the drain pipes and the water supply pipes in the house. If it rains on them, it's not going to hurt them, right? I mean, plumbing pipes are made to handle water. All right. I'm a licensed master plumber. You can put the electrical wiring in, and you've got a roof on the house, but water may blow in the open windows. The windows aren't in yet. So is it going to hurt the wire if it gets wet? Not really. All right. Not going to hurt it. But in other words, I'm trying to explain to you that the builder can have the trades working inside, but at the same time, a really good builder, he's outside finishing the outside of the house, meaning getting the windows in so that no rain gets in, putting the siding on, the brick on, whatever, to basically make sure that no water gets in the house. Water is the biggest enemy. And then once the house is completely protected from the weather, and then all the mechanics are in, you can then, what does a builder do? He'll start to add the finishing. He'll put the drywall or plaster in. I'm sorry. Once it's protected from the weather, this is really important. Once it's protected from the weather, he'll insulate the walls. You don't want to get water in the insulation. Bad. So, and once the insulation's in, then you can start to finish the inside. That's how I would do it. That's how I would rebuild an RV. Build it just like a house. All right. Any other questions? Been on for an hour and 20 minutes. I've got to go to a secret ham radio lunch today. Can't tell you anything more about it. Sorry to tease you. Real quickly, check this out. If you're new, check out my tomato plant. So let's see how high it is. It's almost it's just under 8 inches tall. I'm telling you, a week ago it was 6 inches tall. The stem here is quarter inch thick. It's just 2 days over a month old. I planted the seed on March 1st. I got 4 of them. I got 4 tomato plants, but man, they are rocking. Rocking. So It's going to be a good year for tomatoes, I hope. Oh, all right. Elaine, I skipped your question. Let's see. I'll go find it. Yes, thank you for thank you for reminding me. I am trying to find. Oh, here we go. Finally found it. Yeah, that's a great tip, by the way. If you sometimes I get rolling and the questions that the chat just streams up and I miss it and I don't go back up. So if you have asked a question and I've not answered it, remind me. Lane says, Mr. Tim, our kitchen faucet has started making a high pitched noise. Yeah, and then a thumping, but no. Yeah, it's simple. Elaine, that's very simple. You have a high pitch vibration. You have a piece of sediment in the cartridge, right? It could be a very, very, very tiny piece of sand, and that's what will cause the thumping, the high pitched sound. It's just like when you like when you whistle. So there's a tiny. So when you whistle, you're blowing air past a very small orifice, and think about what's happening in that, and you get a vibration going. That's what you're vibrating. And that's what's causing the sound to happen. Same thing happens with water. The water takes the place of the air that makes a whistle work. So all you got to do is change out the cartridge. The problem's going to go away right away. Any other questions? Happy to answer them before I get the heck out of here. I'm going to do a poll. We're going to do a quick poll. The power's in the question, right? So I have to ask the right question. I'm going to have a little fun with this. All right. All right. I'm trying. Just a second here. I don't know why. There we go. All right, so go ahead and answer the poll. I'm sorry, I just had a little fun. So it's not really scientific because I'm not asking the question the right way. All right. All right. I already know how one person's going to answer it. I'm not naming any names. Yes, Elaine. Yeah, easy. Good for you. And report back to me what happens. I already know it's going to work. 8-bit, one last question. I still use Roundup for weeds. Stop doing that. Stop right now. And you should know better of all the people. Come on, right? Whoa. Have you not seen the commercials on TV from all those lawyers? Stop using chemicals on your lawn. First of all, if you read the label, you cannot even pronounce the words. Right? That's right there. That's one. That's number one. I know where you live, and I'm 99% convinced that you've got a well. Stop using chemicals. Stop it. Yeah, exactly. Stop it. Weeds are green. And I was just looking at actually I'm looking out the window at the hill going up to my leach field. And over the past few years, it's been taken over by this moss. And I was outside yesterday getting something out of my truck. And I thought, man, the moss, it looks so healthy this year. And it's almost completely choked out all the grass. It's like, and it hit me yesterday, like, what can I do to make this moss grow better and faster? I won't have to cut the grass anymore. And it's nice and green. All right. So my neighbor, great people. My neighbor's great people, but the wife is one of those people that everything's got to look perfect. OCD, is that what it's called? Yeah, obsessive compulsive disorder. All right, so crutch word. They have somebody come out and spray the lawn. There's not a weed in their lawn. They subscribed a year ago to this new company, Mosquito Squad, to stop mosquitoes and ticks. And somehow we got in the conversation one day, and I was really very diplomatic how I said this, and I just said, I don't even know how it came up, but I just said I don't want to use any chemicals in my yard because remember I'm a geologist, all right? I go because those chemicals could leach down into the water table. That's all I said. So I don't know why, Lorene, you didn't get I don't know where it shows up. All I see is at the top of my screen. So I think I might have a different dashboard than you see. I just have it on the top of mine. I just have right now, just a blue bar that's showing me that the poll's still happening. And it just, I just kind of see at least the yes. I just see the, if I click it, very interesting. So it's very interesting. Everybody says, yeah, either no one's saying no. Everybody wants it, but 75% say yes. And the one choice was not too early. I lays in bed. So I put that in there for somebody. So anyway, I don't know what. Okay, now you got it. Good. Okay. Oh my gosh. So Elaine, you're still here. Are you enjoying this? And actually, for you, it must be a treat because I don't know that you've ever seen me live like this before. So Elaine and I, we have this relationship. It's very an email relationship. Never met her. I would love to meet Elaine. I would love to meet you. And I just have this great friendship that we've built, over the past year or two. And Elaine sends me really great responses to newsletters, and it's always a treat to read an email that Elaine sends to me. So anyway, absolutely, this AM has been one of my best mornings ever. That's great. That's great. All right, that was for me. You're right. You're right. All right. So same thing. I have this new relationship with Lorene, and Kathy teases me all the time about this, just so you know. I know you need to understand this, that I tell Kathy about you. All right. So she just goes, go to it. She'll just tease me. And, after you've been married 48 years, so you just say these kind of, she'll just say, go. If go. She's playing the flipping scarcity card, like, oh my gosh. Great. All right. So, so Elaine said, I never sue any, with that. Oh, putting, yeah, I don't even, the weeds are green. I'm happy with the weeds. I don't care. No chemicals. Do not stop using chemicals. I can tell you that as a plumber, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I actually thought I would be dead by now. Because if you've ever looked at the label of a can of PVC primer or PVC glue, and when you're working with it, you cannot help but get it on your hands. I mean, it's horrible. And what I did not know back then, and 8-bit vinyl knows, because I'm pretty sure this is your profession. I did not know way back then. I did not know that our skin was absorbent. I didn't know that. I only found that out maybe in the last 15 years when, I started to see those drugs that, I guess like to stop smoking, you just put this thing on your arm and the drug is slowly absorbed through your skin. I did not, just like you don't know stuff about, I mean, I'm not a flipping doctor, so I cannot believe I don't have cancer. I'll just be honest with you. Just can't believe it. As much flipping PVC primer and glue in my skin. Oh my gosh. Stop using chemicals. Stop it. Hubby listens with me sometimes. Lorraine, you need you tell your husband that he needs to listen to you all of the time, not sometimes, all of the time. Just he should already know this. Yeah, Elaine. Well, here, get this, Elaine. So you've not been on other live streams. I'm trying to pull this together. I cannot pull it together until after the whole illness thing is over. That's why I call it the illness. I have to call it the illness because I don't want to get banned. And I'm not going to I'm not wearing a face diaper. Not doing it. They don't work. They're not. All right. I'm not a professional, but I'm smart enough to know this. Early on in the illness, I did some research. I wanted to know, how big is this flipping thing? How big is that thing? This thing, this mysterious thing that's in the air. Well, this mysterious thing that's in the air, evidently, is you can take 900 of them side by side and put them on the width of a human hair. Have you ever see this shirt here? Like, have you, just a regular fabric, right? How many people have you seen wearing fabric face diapers? Have you ever taken a shirt and held it up to a bright light or the sun? What do you see? You see all these little holes, right? I mean, holes that you could stick like a straight pin through, right? I mean, seriously, you could stick a straight pin through that hole. Or like the tip of a straight pin. How wide is this tip of a straight pin compared to your hair? Oh, it's a little bit bigger. So this thing or those paper things, it's like asking a chain link fence to stop a BB. So anyway, here's where I was going with that. Sorry, I went off the rails. I promised myself I would not do that today. All right. I'm going to try, as soon as we can pull this off, I'm going to have a parachute drop. All right. So what does that mean? A parachute drop is, think about it, parachute drop. Think what, like paratroopers dropping in on, One day I'm going to kind of poll everybody, the regulars, and I'm going to say, okay, look, why don't we all agree to meet up at this place? And it could be it could be a national park. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. But it's got to have some nice amenities. It's got to have a nice swimming pool. It's got to have a nice bar. It's got to have maybe a golf course, whatever. And so I would then say, okay, I am going to be at this place for these 3 days or 4 days, whatever. I'm going to be there. If you want to come, then come. If you don't want to come, you don't have to come. I don't care. And then for that 2 or 3 days, or if you can come a day, it doesn't matter, because a person might live actually very close and can just drive there for a day. Everything is informal. Everything's unscheduled. In other words, we all exchange phone numbers once we get there, or just before we text each other. You want to have breakfast with me? Fine. We'll have breakfast out on the patio. You want to go to lunch? Well, we'll have lunch together. You want to swim? Go swimming. You want to go play golf with Will and I? Let's go play golf. Because if Will comes, Will's a big golfer. So I'm just saying, so that's a parachute drop. It's basically like a miniature vacation. So we could do an Ask the Builder parachute drop. I'm going to do it. but I'm not going to do it until the whole bull crap's over. All right. All right, let me get caught up here. Hubby listens to your live streams when I have him in the captive in the car. 8-bit. It's as big as people are of getting scared. Coming from the nurse with real numbers is proof. Yeah, I know it's real. Don't get me wrong. I had it. I mean, you do real. I don't know if you realize it. You realize I got the illness. I survived. My doctor didn't do anything. My doctor, flipping loser. Loser. See that? L, loser. My wife saved my life. All right. So quercetin, zinc. All right. It's all on my website. Just go to askthebuilder.com and type that word in. It's 5 letters. Begins with a C. Type it in the search engine. All I want to say is that the response, much of the response is not based in science. That's all. Not based in science. It's all been about control. Has nothing to do with health. Here's the other thing, 8-bit, that you probably could shed some light on, that not really being reported. Is it true? This is not really a rhetorical question. Is it true that the hospitals are all getting extra money if they say that the person comes in has the illness? Is it true that they get extra money if they put a person with the illness on a ventilator? They get extra money. Is it true that they get even more money if the person dies of the illness while in the hospital? If so, that's a conflict of interest. But what do I know? I used to eat lunch sitting on overturned drywall buckets for 20 plus years. All right. There's all kinds of studies about it. Once again, just use critical thinking skills. All right. You have to use critical thinking skills about the whole face diapers. All right. So we don't need to get into a discussion with it, because if we're not using the same, if we don't agree on the same data set about the topic, it's impossible to have a discussion. You can't do it. I've been an expert witness for 25 years. So I know all about data sets. And that's why when you're sworn in at a deposition, you say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I had to swear that on the witness stand in courtrooms. All right. So we have a situation that's happened here it's happened for a long time, but it really exploded in the last 2 years, where you and I are not getting the whole truth. So is it any wonder that you get into arguments with people about all this stuff? All right. So anyway, I'm not going to talk anymore about it. I'm just telling you that I'm going to have a flipping parachute drop, and Kathy will be happy about it. She loves it when I go get out of here. She loves it. It's like a vacation for her. I've been at home, working at home for the last 28 years. Yeah, not only that, 8-bit, there's a ton of people who are asymptomatic. Are you kidding me? Asymptomatic. And now I've got the best immunity that Mother Nature makes. Here, you'll appreciate this. I'll just say this. I'll just end with this. I've put this out there. Do you know anything about yellow fever? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you were taught a little bit about it in school. All right. So, crutch word. Back in early 1900s, when the U.S. helped steal, did you know that the U.S., if you're upset about Russia and what's going on with Russia, just stop right now. If you're upset with Russia, you need to be the first person in line to give Hawaii back to the Hawaiians. I mean, you do realize that we stole Hawaii, right? I mean, you realize it, right? Come on. You know that. Come on. I mean, you realize Hawaii had a queen, Queen Lily Kahale or whatever. We stole it from her. And Panama, all right, Panama. You do realize that Panama was not a country in 1900. You know what Panama was? Where Panama is, that was Colombia. So Colombia extended up, to the isthmus, all right? But the people that lived on the isthmus, they were neglected. Colombia hated them. They didn't take care of them. They got pissed off. So they came to America and said, listen, we want to get the hell away from these people. Can you help us? Just so happened, Theodore Roosevelt's president. What do you need? We need you to help us get away. All right. Tell you what, we'll make you a deal. We will help you. We will help you get away. But here's what we get. You need to give us some of your land. All right. And we just happen to want this narrow strip of land, maybe a couple, 2-3 miles wide. And we're going to build this canal, and it's going to be ours. It's ours. They go, do it, whatever you want. We don't care. Do whatever you want. Go ahead. Dig in the freaking ground. We don't care. I'm telling you the truth. All right. It's so anyway, I don't even know where I was going with all this. I completely lost my train of thought now. I don't know why I started on that. So, I don't know where I was going. So now I'm lost. It doesn't matter. All right. So maybe somebody will tell me where I was going. Oh, here we go. It was something with 8-bit vinyl. What was I talking about? Anyway, yellow fever. Thank you. All right. So you'll love this. Yellow fever. So back when we were building the Panama Canal, yellow fever. We did not know what caused yellow. They did not know what caused it. But let me tell you, yellow fever, that is a badass flipping ailment. You contract yellow fever, it's like playing Russian roulette, 50-50 chance, 50% mortality rate, 50%. That would get my attention. 50%. All right. They had no cure for it. They just kind of were trying to treat symptoms. There was no preventative care. They didn't even know what caused it. They did not realize it was transmitted by mosquitoes. They eventually figured it out. But everybody was getting bit by mosquitoes down there. Are you kidding me? Flipping Panama, Mosquito City. How was it that the doctors and the nurses were treating the yellow fever patients? Simple. They got it. They got yellow fever, but they survived. So when you get a disease and you survive, I mean, you already know this. You have the best flipping immunity that you can get, bar none. And now what are they up to? The 4th and 5th jab? Oh, experimental biological agent. Are you kidding me? Oh, God. All right. Enough. Now I'm going to get out of here before I get in deep trouble. All right. So, history. Yeah. History. Neat subject. Let me get over to Kathy. Kathy is not coming to the parachute drop. No flipping way. No. She's not coming. Here's why. First of all, she hates to travel. Hates everything about the experience. Hates everything. Number 2, she will only get on an airplane if she's heavily sedated and only if she has to. I mean, like if someone dies in a family. Hates airplanes, right? And remember what I just said. She constantly is asking me, hey, don't you need to go out west? Don't you need to go somewhere with your buddies? In other words, she wants me out of the flipping house so she can have it for herself so that she can be on vacation, all right? She just asked me one question. She just says 2 things. Just give me a week's notice, and please don't leave during the wintertime because I don't want to have to deal with the snow myself. All right, so Kathy's not coming to the parachute drop. Sorry. I know. I yell at the screen. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I swear. They are face diapers. All right. Yes. All right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. All right. Yeah. But the thing is, just so you know, the jab right now is not a true, the letter V. It's not that. If you go look up if you have to go like here, you have to have something like this. You have to have a one of these old ones. All right. Let's see if they got the right definition in here. I'm not a doctor. All right. I'm not even a nurse. Here we go. They got the right definition. This is for the word that you see a lot of out there. It begins with a V. All right. Here's the definition. Listen to me. Listen to this. Now, if you go online and try to look this up, I'll bet you come back with a different definition because you realize online they're changing the definitions. That's why I use this. That's why I have. Oh, you can't see it. It's hidden. It's hidden by these books. But right here, I've got a really big old dictionary. Here's the definition of the V word. Listen to me. Listen carefully. A preparation of a weakened or killed pathogen, such as a bacterium or virus, used to the V word as a verb. You want me to read that again? You got to understand this. A preparation of a weakened or killed pathogen, such as a bacterium or virus. You do realize that the experimental biological agent that millions are getting jabbed with has none of that in it. It has none of the dead or weakened pathogen in it. But yet they're calling it the V word. You are being played. You and millions of other, and I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just trying to give you the flippin' truth. You are being played. You have been played the last 2 years. And I will then share this and then I'm out of here to stop the whole time. So if you want to see how bad you've been played, go here. Go watch that video and then get the book. Buy the guy's book. The book is so much better than the video. All right. All right. Okay, Lorraine, got to go. I got to go. I'm going to go too. Jason, great. All right. We're going to do more Saturday morning live streams. I can see it right now. And we're going to try to get the lazy people out of bed. They can just go to bed earlier the night before, right? I'm ranting. Goodbye. I know. Yeah, George, you're right. I knew I would scare some people off. That's okay. It's okay. That's what I do. I'm ranting. I'm allowed to do it. It's my live stream. And see, if you George, just, I respect your right to disagree. But remember what I said about a half an hour ago. It's impossible to have an honest discussion if you're not using the same data set, and you have to have all the facts. You and me, all of us, we're not getting all the facts. That's so. So how can we actually have a really good discussion about any of it? Okay. Ranting. I guess that would be a rant. All right. Thanks for being here. I had a great time. But understand that you have to just so you know, the last point about this. Stop being played. I mean, go look up the definition yourself. Go get an old dictionary and look it up, and then just do some critical thinking. Come on, George, do some critical thinking. Don't let them. And it'd be like saying, "Oh, today a hot air balloon landed in my yard." This is a really bad analogy. A hot air balloon landed in my yard. No, it didn't. A hot air balloon did not land in your yard. A bird landed in your yard. All right. I know something floated down, not a hot air balloon. It was a bird. All right. So two different things. So the experimental biological agent is one thing, and something that's a true this word is something else. They're not the same. A hot air balloon is not a bird. All right. So simple as that. All right, Fred, you're still here. Great to see you too. I'm still kicking, buddy. Oh, Fred, wait a minute. Check this out. I got this unsolicited letter in the mail yesterday from a company in Washington about the 90 acres. It says, the name of the company would like to purchase your land in New Hampton, New Hampshire. Blah, 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 is referenced in the enclosed purchase offer agreement, which is here. All right. That's this. And so it says right here, the purchase price of $116,864.96. They were also gracious to say they're going to pay all expenses. You're going to love this. Early this morning, I write back the guy a letter, a traditional handwritten letter, very short, one page. I just say, dear, his name was Andrew. I go, dear Andrew, thanks so very much for your letter dated, blah, 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 reference number, blah, blah, blah. Because it's got a reference number up here, So, so he could look it up. And I go, I just wanted to inform you that there was a typographical error in it, and you need to have someone in your office check these things before they go out. I go, it was missing a 0. He's going to throw it away. Can you believe that? I mean, it's just crazy. Oh my gosh. I know I paid too much for the land. I paid way too much. Oh well. But it's worth a lot more now. I can tell you that. I had a guy from New Orleans offer me $800 for it. Nope, not taking it. I'm not selling the land because I know what's happening. I know what's in play. The land is going to start going up in value like crazy, just like you and I talked about that day you and I walked it. So just taking a while, but that's okay. It's going to get, all it's doing is going up in value every day. Oh, and the road, get this, Fred, real quickly. So I got if you're still doing real estate up here, I don't know. I haven't talked to you in such a long time. I called up Hiltz, Jeremy Hiltz in New Hampton, that big contractor. Called him up 2 years ago. This is 2 years ago. You know what the price to put a road in like I was on my land? You have any idea? 2 years ago. Now, just imagine all the trees are still there. They got to go in and, take all the trees down, do everything. $400 a foot. $400 a foot. That was 2 years ago. And imagine what it is now with fuel prices and whatever. I mean, the road on my land is worth a minimum. It would cost somebody $500,000 to put in. Well over 1,000 feet long. You know how long that road is. All right. Anyway, gotta go. Great to see you, Fred. Great to know that you were here. That's amazing. So we'll be doing another live stream probably next Saturday. So I'll be here. Hope you will too. And keep in touch. So thanks so much for being here today. We'll do another one next Saturday. We'll see if we can get George upset. And I promised myself I wouldn't go off the rails, but I'm sorry I did. Too bad. People need to wake up. That's all. Everyone needs to wake up. Some are still sleeping. Need to wake up. Time to wake up. Don't call things what they're not. Don't call a bird a hot air balloon. All right? Don't call a bird a hot air balloon. Don't call the experimental biological agent this word. Don't call it that because it's not that. That's not what it is. Go look up what this is. Go look it up. I'm going to still do stuff during the week. I'm going to start weaning it off 8-bit because the weather's getting nicer and I And if you read tomorrow's newsletter, you'll see why I need to spend a little bit more time writing and doing some other stuff. Tomorrow's news, what this whole live stream was originally about at the beginning. I've got some catch up work to do, and so I will do one next Saturday, and but there will be some during the week. But eventually, when we get to May 1st, there's not going to be one every day. No, because Fred will tell you when the weather's nice here, I'm outside. All right, because people who live up here, they really I moved here, just I moved to New Hampshire for one reason only, primarily was to get away from the horrible weather in Cincinnati. And so once it warms up, dude, I'm outside. I'm not like you have to, it takes a team of wild horses to keep me indoors. All right, gotta go. Elaine, Lorraine's gone, I think. 8-bit, Fred, George, if you're still here and not happy. So many people. Thanks so much for being here today. Appreciate it. If you've not signed up for my newsletter, I'm just going to end with this. If you have not gone to the website, go to askthebuilder.com, sign up for the newsletter right there on the homepage. Do it. Tomorrow is going to be an epic newsletter. I guarantee you, and what I'll probably do next Sunday is I probably am going to publish some of the hate mail that I get. Going to get some hate mail. All right. Speaking of hate mail, where do you go to the Weird Times and see my letter to the editor that it was in on Thursday? I can't wait to get that hate mail. It'll probably start coming in today. All right, so go to the Weird Times and look at my letter to the editor, the March 31st edition. All right, got to go. Sign up for the Ask the Builder newsletter. It's free. And wait till you see what you get tomorrow. All right, got to go. I'm Tim Carter. It's been Ask the Builder. Thanks so much for doing it. Fun live stream today. Almost 2 hours again. Can't believe it. Can't believe we did a 2-hour live stream on a Saturday morning. Had a lot of great questions. Thanks so very much.